stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rackets regular, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $100,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
And good Wednesday evening, everybody. Thank you for coming on out to the Turn 3 Racing Network. Here we are getting ready to go. We've got a lot to talk about. Not a lot of time to do it, about 10 minutes or so. And man, we are ready to go. My name is Chris, helping me tell the stories, and there are plenty of them going around here tonight. My good friend Rick. Rick, how are you tonight, bud?
Hey, buddy. Happy Wednesday, man. I'm excited to be here at Five Flags with you tonight.
Oh, I'll tell you, this is going to be a good one, and we've got a lot of stories to talk about. Let's talk first about what this season has been comprised of. So first, of course, we had the West Coast Series. This half of the season, the East Coast Series, literally taking tracks from the West Coast, doing all of them, giving us a champion of that half of the season. Then we got the East Coast. We're on the last run of that. We'll have a champion. And then we filter all the points together. We have another champion. Man, this is going to be cool. Of course, Rick, let's go ahead and get into it. Who's going on?
Well, I mean, number one, I'm excited tonight, Chris, because like you just said, we're going to crown not one but two champions tonight, okay? We got the East Coast champion who's going to be crowned. We also have the overall champion of both series. Right now, it's kind of crazy because basically Brian Hacker, who is the Western champion, only has to take the green flag tonight. That's all he has to do. He's going to be the overall champion. But we still have quite a nice little race going on for that Eastern one. Only a 17-point lead in between both Brian Hacker and, of course, the 87, Ryan Nolan. Ryan Nolan, he's out there. He's under a new paint scheme. This is going to be interesting tonight, Chris.
Yeah, gone is the blue and green, bringing out the black. But yeah, Rick, you're right. 17 points separating Brian Hacker and Ryan Nolan. Nolan has had a very good second half this season. Really didn't race that much in the first half. And then started, kind of late in that first half, knocked the dust off. And man, that guy, he has been on fire for this entire Eastern swing. Look at this. James McIntyre sitting third spot in the point standings on this East Coast side. Mark Fravert in fourth. Matthew Spinks, a strong showing here. Fifth spot, Justin Rigsby, Jeff Styles, AJ Rogers, Andy Lambert, and Al Smith Jr. rounding out the top 10. Look on the other side, Rick. There's a lot of big names out there. And of course, one name really standing out to me, sitting right now in 18th spot on the East Coast side of things. It's AJ Hamill.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I'm just looking here. I'm not seeing AJ. Is he?
Yeah, he's not in here.
No.
Second week in a row, AJ Hamill not showing up. And of course, him and Brian Hacker really battling all the way to the very last lap of the West Coast division. And AJ Hamill, no show last week, no show this week, and forfeiting what would have been a really good opportunity for an all-around, just not showing up.
Yeah, I mean, kind of shocking, but, I get it. The way that Andy did it this season, though, is really cool, Chris, because usually, this is the first time it's happened at RFC. Two champions, two different sides of the country, which is really cool on how he did it. And I hope it continues because it's been a lot of fun. I mean, the heat racing, been fabulous. The actual racing, been fabulous. I mean, we've been seeing Brian Hacker and that 11 machine just doing what he does. And tonight's going to be real interesting to see right now. He is sitting fifth in the speed charts. And something kind of, not really shocking. Chris Stump doing a fabulous job out there right now. He's got the fastest lap, 15.709. Just looking through right now, Hacker, like I said, sitting in fifth. Ryan Nolan sitting in 11th right now. So it's going to be a good race here tonight.
Yeah, and again, it is coming live to you right here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. It's Five Flags, another half-mile track. But Rick, before we get into anything else concerning tonight's race, I want to go ahead and let's pump up something that's going to be happening in January. Ladies and gentlemen, January 25th, 2020, the place to be, right here on the Turn 3 Racing Network, where we're going to be hosting a charity race between the Blazing Pedals and Racing for a Cause for a great charity. It's going to be the Head and Neck Cancer Alliance, and all proceeds for the race will be going to that charity. There's going to be payouts for first through third and all kinds of other things going on. Terry Foster and Troy Radford, who's actually going to be racing here tonight, making a very seldom start here. Troy Radford and Terry Foster, a huge thank you for the enormous amount of effort you guys are taking putting this thing together. It's looking good. Can't wait to join. If you're an iRacer in one of those two leagues, make sure to get in touch with Terry or Troy and find out how you can become a member of that race. Just a small pay-in fee of $10 per driver, and it's going to be going out to a great cause. Think about it. You have a little bit more time to go before you have to make that decision. It will be a Saturday night right here on the Turn 3 Racing Network.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that too. I mean, we're looking at Michigan. We're looking at the K&N car. And like you said, it's going to be a Saturday night, and it's for a good cause, and it's with two of the greatest leagues out there that I personally feel on iRacing. I mean, Racing for a Cause, I mean, it holds a really nice, close place to yours and mine heart, Chris. And then, of course, the Blazing Pedals that we broadcast on Sundays. I mean, this is it for us right now for 2019, man. I mean, this is the final broadcast 2019. I'm excited about that. We got Christmas next week. It's going to be great. We're going to have some fun this Saturday at work. And then we got Christmas, and then we're off. But then these guys, both leagues, are going to be starting back up in February. But they're going to kick off 2020 with this awesome charity race. I know it's close to $1,000 right now going to be donated to that great cause. which is, obviously near and dear to our heart, and a few others, which is awesome. So it's very exciting.
Yeah, can't wait for that. And I'll tell you what, right now, I can't wait to get this thing going. And, we have a little bit more time. Andy doesn't typically like to talk, but
we're going to get him to talk.
Yeah, let's do it. Get him up here. Oh, Andy, it's Chris and Rick up in the booth. Do you have a copy?
Got you guys. What's up?
Well, we figured we might as well get you up here and talk, because not only are you racing in tonight's event and you happen to be sponsoring tonight's event, but man, you're the lead admin of this series. How has this series gone for you this season?
Pretty good. We were just talking in the drivers' meeting about our car counts, our average car count. Usually, seasons past, they would spike at the beginning of the season, kind of dwindle down as the season wears on. And we've seen a little bit of that this season, but for the most part, I think we've sustained the highest average we've had throughout the whole season. We certainly have seemed to finally gotten a solid core group of drivers out here, and they are, in my opinion, some of the best drivers in the league in iRacing. So as far as short track guys go, cleanest and most respectful you'll find out there. I mean, we all have our nights, but they do a good job. So
I totally agree with you. And just, looking at the drivers on track right now, looks like you have about 20 again to start tonight. And that's pretty amazing. Like you said, there was, and it happens in every league towards the end of the season. Boy, you usually start seeing numbers drop down, but really, it hasn't been like that. I mean, 20 drivers on the last race when you've been averaging maybe 21 per race. That's pretty damn good.
Yeah, we're pleased with that. I mean, with this league, with Racing for a Cause, the way we have it set up, there's a lot of other leagues out there that are, they have much higher car counts, which is good. It's always a good thing to have a ton of cars, for the growth of your league. But, for Racing for a Cause, I want this league to be a place where guys can come race, have fun. They don't necessarily have that pressure of having to make the field. They can come run laps and get seat time. So I'm always looking for a window of maybe 15 to 23 to 25 cars. And anytime we get in that window, I'm happy, because that to me puts on the best racing and is the most enjoyable kind of racing, when you have, your best buds out here and you're just having a good time and you're not sending people home. So yeah, it's been fun this season.
It has been, and we thank you for having us be a part of that. And we have about, just under 2 minutes to go, Andy. Let's talk about what the foundation is and why you chose to sponsor tonight's race.
So, Crohn's and Colitis Foundation is a foundation that studies, does research for Crohn's and colitis, which is irritable bowel conditions or diseases. It goes with like IBS and everything else. So my wife has that, and a lot of people that aren't affected by that aren't really aware of it. And if they are, they don't really think it's a big deal. They think you can get treated for it, but it really is it's a really a everyday struggle, even when you are getting treatment for it. It's I've learned that with my wife, and you're always adjusting medications. Sometimes they stop working and whatnot. So I figured tonight would be a good night to have that out there. That's the car I've been racing all season, is the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation car. So it's a good way to wrap up the season and bring attention to that.
All right, bud. Well, you got about 30 seconds left. Any final thoughts going into tonight's race?
Yeah, I just want to thank all my drivers that come out each and every week, support the league, everybody on YouTube that watches and in the chat that interacts with you guys. I want to thank you guys for doing an awesome broadcast for all these races this season. It's really home having your voices here for this series. Makes it feel like home, if the way we started out. So I wouldn't want it any other way. And I want to thank you guys and thank all the drivers and viewers.
All right, bud. Thank you very much. And checkered flag waving over practice session, getting ready for the heat racing. Andy, good luck to you tonight.
Thank you.
Good luck, bud.
Andy Lambert, again, lead admin, sponsoring tonight's race. And again, can't thank him enough. He's done a hell of a job with this series. It's been a lot of fun. And Rick, speaking of a lot of fun, Andy Lambert happens to be in heat number 1.
You're absolutely right. Heat number 1 going to be starting out with the number 99, Justin Rigsby, who's had a great season here so far. He's going to be in that number 1 position next to him, Chris, the 96, Al Smith Jr. There's some big names in this heat race. Then, like you said, we got Ryan Nolan, Andy Lambert, James Somke in 5th, Zach Coldbeer-Coyer in 6th, Andrew Hill, Brian Hacker, Vader. I forgot.
Yeah.
Got Matt Vade in the number 8, going to be starting 9th, and the 40 of Gary Eashan in 10th.
And that does round out the first heat race of tonight. Man, this is going to... Oh, man. I am so ready for tonight, Rick. I've been juiced for a long time. Of course, I was off the meds today, so maybe I'm a little extra hyper, but my Lord, I am ready to roll here tonight. Waiting for that pace car to start leading the field. Al Smith Jr. still on the bubble. Hasn't come on out of pit road yet. And doesn't look like he's going to make it into the heat. So it's going to be 9 drivers. Andy Lambert going to bump up to the outside pole position outside of Justin Rigsby. Looks like we'll be running 2 heat races tonight. 2 races of 10 for 15 laps apiece. And oh, look at this. Coldbeer-Coyer has himself a new car here tonight.
Yeah, he's going to switch it up at the last race. Come on. Wait until next season.
I love it.
I love it, too. These guys do such an outstanding job. I mean, Coldbeer-Coyer, he's out there. Christmas next week, Chris. A week from today. It'll be all done at this time.
My goodness.
We'll be settled. I actually can't wait because I love Christmas night. I love it when the kids go to bed. It's me and the wife. We're sitting on the couch. This year we can't have no wine like we normally do, but that's okay.
I'll come over and have some wine with you, buddy.
All right.
That's about it. I mean, we're not going to make out or anything.
No.
All right. Just wanted to be clear about that. Pace car is in. And the 99 has the control of the field, waiting for that green flag to drop. It does, and the 99 takes off. Good jump out of the hole for Rigsby, and the 87 of Ryan Nolan follows suit. Andy Lambert has filtered himself back in the 3rd spot, and Coldbeer-Coyer looking down on the inside. Good start to this one. Brian Hacker sitting in 5th spot. Hacker has to find a little bit of speed. Rick mentioned he was a little bit slower in that practice, about 5th place. He has some points to make up if he wants to try and win the all-around by winning the East and West.
Well, it's going to be real interesting because I was watching both the 11 and the 87 run practice, Chris, and it seemed like Hacker kind of got it figured out. And one guy that was kind of weird, that Ryan Nolan, he's sitting in 2nd place right now in this heat race. But he was slipping and sliding all over now. I don't know if he was just trying to test some stuff out. You know how practice goes. You never know what happens. But right now, Ryan Nolan doing a great job sitting there in 2nd. Justin Rigsby is just going crazy right now in that 99, man. And, he's another driver that has kind of switched. I mean, Andy, for the first half of the season, ran with the MS paint. Now he's running the scheme that he's running for tonight's single. We're under caution.
Caution flag, and it looks like it's Zach Coyer. I didn't mean to laugh, Rick.
That's okay.
But, I read Terry's chat. Gonna go ahead and hit the replay button. And Coldbeer-Coyer. Oh, looks like he may have gotten a little bit loose, and Brian Hacker right behind. Let's find out if there was contact. Yeah, boy. Not from that angle, but it certainly was close.
Now listen, Coldbeer, I know you want to get your Treggedy Farms new paint scheme for for Christmas out there on the old TV, but there's other ways to do it, brother.
Yeah, Al Smith Jr., just to bring everybody up to speed, did end up making the green flag, but started at the rear. 10 laps to go, under caution. And Terry, I may be off on one med, but brother, I am on another, so it's okay.
He's all good. But again, like I was talking about Rigsby, usually we see him on the 99water.org machine, but this season, something very close and near and dear to his heart, the Star Legacy Foundation out there on the 99. Right now, good showing here tonight. Rigsby's had an okay season so far too, Chris.
Yeah, he's done well. And, look, the same can be said for every driver out there. just to show up every race, you're doing well. And then to race decently and know that your name has been called, and to have the opportunity to talk to you up in the booth after a race, man, there ain't nothing better than that.
Well, we kind of nailed on it too when we were talking with Andy, Chris. I mean, he's had great car counts all season long. And I think this is one of the best seasons so far that Andy has had, honestly speaking. And it's just amazing to go back from RFC with our first race, 9 cars on the track the first season. I don't think we got over like 15. And, we got it figured out. Andy's got it figured out. He's got that, like you said, he's got some of the best drivers on iRacing, man. And these guys have shown dedication season after season. And it's just fabulous to see.
Hey, speaking of that very first race, Rick, we had a champion of that first season. His name was Steve Baker. I want to congratulate Steve Baker. He was the champion crowned last night after Katie Osmond won his race, but not close enough, unfortunately, for Katie. Steve Baker takes the championship home last night.
Yeah, our first champion. He's got the trophy to prove it. And we're back under green. Chris, 7 laps left to go.
Yep, that's awesome stuff, man. Congratulations again to Steve Baker and Katie. Oh, spinning on the backstretch, going into 3.
Oh.
We're back under caution. That was a quick one. Don't know where that started either. Gary Esch, I might have been Eschen in the 40, but he got some key involved in that one. We're going to go back.
Yeah, we'll see. I know he was on the outside there of Andy Lambert.
Yeah, all the way back to the restart of this race. Unfortunately, it seems like it went back just a little too far. That's okay. So Ashton was sitting on the outside of Andy Lambert, just like you said. And boy, that one happened quick. Boy, going into turn 3. But let's take a peek and see what happened here as it's about to go back under the green. Here under the instant replay. Cars tighten up real nice, and Rigsby with another great restart. And the 40 stuck to the outside. Ooh, into Vade. Oh, Vade gets into him, and I wasn't even into 3. Rick, I am so sorry. That was into 1 and 2, my lord.
1 and 2, yeah.
And then the pace car went right through him.
And it's kind of hard. I'm trying to find a really good angle to see it at, Chris. It might have been a little bit of net code, but they were close anyway.
Yeah, really, really close. Vader, I believe he may have gotten into him based on what I just saw, but yeah, we'll see. Nonetheless, 3 laps to go here under caution, and we may get it going just in time for 1 lap, so we'll keep an eye out. Hey, Rick, you know what I got you for Christmas?
Well, all I know is it can't top what you got me for my birthday because I still love my air truck. That's all I'm saying.
Well, this year for Christmas, I'm going to go ahead and get you the same thing I got you last year.
A high five?
Yes, sir.
A hug. I'm going to get a hug.
I don't know about maybe a hug. Gentle pat on the bottom.
I'll
job well done.
I'll take the...
I said gentle.
I'm going to take the rest of the week off, and I will see you in 2020, I think. I mean, it was just a hot chocolate today, man. I mean...
Well, it was hot.
Listen, you already gave me the best gift, man. I mean, I love going to work every day. We have fun. There for each other. That's all that matters. And I got an air truck for my birthday.
Happy birthday, by the way.
No.
I haven't said that for a while.
Yeah. You said it enough this year, trust me. There's a lot of things that I hold near and dear, but from friends, my air truck and my Uniline box cutter that I got from trjkarting.com. Those are my 2 favorite things. I should bring that to work, and I got to do something with that. I think I'm going to put my Uniline box cutter, and I'm going to super glue it to my toolbox.
Hey, you know what would be
always
cool?
be there.
That would be cool, first of all. But the other thing I was thinking, checkered flag waves, Justin Rigsby going to win heat race number 1, Ryan Nolan, Andy Lambert finishing out the top 3. What I was going to say would be really cool is during that 5-minute warm-up session that they have, we'll get Troy up here and let him talk about that upcoming race. I think that would be cool.
Yeah.
Well, heat race number 2, getting ready and set. We'll get rid of that so you guys can see the names. Jeffrey Stiles in the 85 going to be on the pole to his outside. Quick guy during practice, Chris Stump in the 98. Travis Wright, Mike Holtzclaw making up row number 2. Great guy, Doug Wasaki, starting in 5th spot. AJ Rogers to his outside. Troy Radford, James McIntyre Jr., Mark Fravert, and Matthew Spinks. Going to round out heat race number 2. So,
And RFC's got some good stuff coming up for 2020, Chris. I mean, they got the Tour Modifieds coming to Monday nights. That's going to be. I'm torn.
sorry, I keep looking over at chat.
Stop reading the chat, okay? But they got some exciting stuff this year. Next year coming up, Chris. I mean, Modifieds on Mondays. I would love to race that, and the Modifieds are a lot of fun. Eddie's putting that on. Troy Radford. He actually, just speaking of Troy, he just put out the tentative schedule for the Truck Series. I'm really interested in that.
Yeah, it's going to be cool. I took a quick peek at the schedule. It looks pretty set, man. That's pretty good. I just put that baby in stone and let it roll.
Mm-hmm. And, of course, exciting news. You and I are not retiring at the end of this season, which would have been tonight. But we're going to continue on. We're going to continue on with Sunday nights at the Blazing Pedals. They're moving over to the K&N car. That's going to be fun. And, of course, we're going to be here Wednesday night for Andy at Racing for a Cause.
Got a couple of quick leagues, get them done, get them out of the way, and then have a little bit of time to breathe for the rest of the season. Chris Stump on the outside at the drop of the green flag, working hard to try and take over the lead from Jeffrey Stiles. He does. Here comes a 22. Oh, baby, that outside starting to come on in. The 17, AJ Rogers working his way up. The 85 looks like he is just in the wrong spot here, as he is getting passed now by the 10. In the 44, looks like he's coming in. Jeffrey Stiles was not set for that start, and the 22 comes off the wall into the 10 hard. We go under caution. Oh man, what a hellacious start. It was looking good. Let's go back and take a peek, see what happened to Holtzclaw. Holtzclaw on the outside of AJ Rogers. Rogers makes the pass clean. Oh, the 22, I think he just got really loose. And man, he got into the 10. And he got into the foul zones machine. Oh man, what a wicked start to this one. Back up front, it's Chris Stump. AJ Rogers has worked his way up in a second. Hello, AJ. Mark Fravert and Matthew Spinks rounding out the row number 2. James McIntyre back to 5th. Travis Wright working his way. Troy Radford sitting in 8th spot in the Kidney Foundation machine. That's one car, I will always be able to find Troy on track.
Oh, yeah.
That man does not change as far as his foundation. Of course, he is a donor, has donated. And from the son of a man who got a kidney donated to him, that makes me very proud. Ladies and gentlemen, it takes just a second on the back of your license to click off that you are a donor. If you haven't done so yet, please talk to your family about maybe considering becoming a donor. It's so important.
It is. It's very important. It's one of those things that it's kind of hard to think about, but, for a while, and of course I did a lot of fire and rescue when I was younger in high school and whatnot. And, it never really crossed my mind that, hey, if something in my body after I pass, if it can go in to help somebody, what better thing can you do as kind of your last hurrah to do that? And I think it's cool.
You guys can take whatever you want of mine, but the liver's going to be shot.
That is a true statement, folks. True statement.
So, new front row, Chris Stump, AJ Rogers getting ready to do battle. These two cars have been pretty fast all season, just haven't had the results of it. AJ Rogers, I think the best he's had so far this season, a finish of 2nd spot.
And there's a lot of names on there, Chris, that just haven't had, especially for the second half here of the season, haven't had the luck. If you look at it, Chris Stump, he's the number 1. You got AJ Rogers. You just talked about that. Mark Frabert has, had an up and down season. That number 44 machine, he's a great racer. He's just been having a little issue here this season. Matthew Spink's another one, Chris. We saw him last season, like total season. He had a heck of a season, and then he came into this one and just been having a hard time. But right now, that 35 looking strong here in the heat race number 2.
Yeah, actually, as you were talking about him, Rick, he came down to the inside of Fraver and took away third spot, and convincingly. Holy cow, that 35. He's fast here tonight. If he can get to the back of the 17, he may have something. Mark Fraver had to let him go. Couldn't keep up with him. The 44 slips back into 4th spot. McIntyre in the 81 right behind him. And then you got some cars that were kind of beat up there on that first one. The exception to the rule, Troy Radford, who's kind of just stuck. Here's the thing about Troy. During the actual race, watch out for that 94. And I think right now what you're seeing is it takes him a little bit to kind of get used to a track. Once he does get used to that track and car combination, holy cow, watch out for him. He was another one of those guys that was vying for the title last night. Unfortunately, didn't have the night he was looking for, Rick. And the 94, not able to take it. But again, congratulations goes out to KD Osmond. The kid did it, man. He won that race last night. Came just 4 points, I believe, shy of taking the championship home.
So close. So. I mean, it's hard to pick a favorite with Racing for a Cause, Chris. We know these guys. They're our second family, I mean, there's no question about it.
Absolutely. And hold on 1 second, Rick, because Brad said something out there. Pop too many times. Pop a top again.
No, Brad. I wasn't going to say anything because you know what? After last week, Chris walks in on Thursday morning and he's singing that damn song.
Chris Stump coming out of turn number 4. AJ Rogers trying to put the pressure. Can't get there. Stump, your Heat 2 winner. AJ Rogers, Matthew Spinks rounding out the top 3. Good run out of Chris Stump, boy. That was very consistent. Yeah, boy.
This is going to be fun, Chris. These guys are going to do a 5-minute warm-up now. I mean, this is going to be amazing. I'm not a short track guy at all, as everybody here knows, especially you. But Five Flags is one of my favorite short tracks because it's kind of big and it's a lot of fun. We're going to be under the lights here tonight. I mean, we already saw during that heat race, the sun was coming out and starting to go down. This is going to be exciting, man.
Absolutely. And I said I was going to do it. By Lord, I'm going to do it. Troy Radford, driver of the number 94. Chris and Rick up in the booth. Do you have a copy? One more time. Troy Radford, driver of the number 94. This is Chris and Rick up in the booth. Do you have a copy, please? Okay, maybe taking a little bit of a pit stop. We're going to try back one more time before the end of this warm-up. It is a 5-minute warm-up. Maybe having to take a little bit of a pit stop. One thing I will say about Troy, his wife is due at just about any moment. So, who knows?
He's getting ready to pop the top.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And how Troy does it, I don't know, because that guy, I mean, being in the chat about this charity race with him and Terry have been fantastic. These guys are burning the midnight oil. They're getting everything nailed out. It's going to be a good time. And Troy, and I haven't said this to him before, but, he really stepped up here at Racing for a Cause, and he helped us out a lot. And the guy, all he does is work. I mean, he's just a workhorse. He's always there, able to, willing and able to help people. And he works long hours, but he comes out and he makes sure that everything is taken care of here for Racing for a Cause.
Oh, Rick.
It's just outstanding.
Oh, Rick, he's out on track. That means he's at his computer. Let's see if we can grab him one more time. Driver of the 94, Troy Radford. Chris and Rick up in the booth. Do you have a copy?
I do. How are you guys doing tonight?
Doing good, bud. Doing good. Listen, I think what you're trying to do is get used to the track and car combination again. It's been a little while since we've seen you out there.
Oh, yeah. The main thing for me here, this is super tight track. I absolutely love this place. Hey, how about that lap time? So absolutely love this place. But, out there in the heat race, like you said, I don't get a ton of time in this car. I really wanted to feel it out. So my intent was just to get behind the crowd, avoid the stupid stuff. Last lap, I really didn't, go until the very end of that run. And, I seemed to be faster than the leaders when I wanted to go. So we'll see what we can do. I'm not going to do anything stupid tonight, especially with it being a championship race. But if I can get up there and race, I'll get up there and race.
Absolutely, and that's what we expect to see out of the 94. Listen, I want to congratulate you, first of all, on last night. Crowned yourself a champion. And, of course, this is not the first time he's been crowned champion. Steve Baker taking her away with Katie Osmond as the race winner.
Yep, absolutely. So, just another great season there on Tuesday night. So, was absolutely thrilled to be able to pull away the championship. But, a great run all the way up front. I mean, you got, 4 or 5 points separating the top 3 there at the end. So, just absolutely phenomenal season and great driving by everybody.
Absolutely. And finally, I'm going to use up all your practice time just because, but we've already kind of talked about it, man. January is coming very, very quickly, and we've got a race to run.
We do. We've got the charity race with all the proceeds going to headandneck.org. So you're definitely going to see a lot more promos coming here in the next few days, especially if my wife will have that darn baby pretty soon. I'll be able to get back to work a little bit more on that. But we've got a lot of cool things that we're going to do with there. Of course, the guys over at Blazing Pedals have been absolutely awesome. We're probably going to release a driver sign up here after tonight's race. I'm going to try to get to work on that so we can kind of see who's in so far and get a good idea where we're at. I know from a financial standpoint, we're already over $500 in donations. So the guys who are signed up already have just been absolutely generous with what they're doing.
That's awesome.
And just really cool stuff that's going to come out of this thing. But check it out, of course. If you're a Blazing Pedals guy, check it out over there. If you're an RFC guy, check it out on our page. We got signups everywhere.
Yeah, and absolutely. And that over 500, correct me if I'm wrong, but that does not include sponsorship money, right? That's just drivers?
I think it only includes one of the sponsors.
One sponsor. Okay, so there's plenty more money that's going to be coming out for that.
Oh, my gosh, yeah. Yeah,
that is incredible.
Think as of right now, I expect us to be with committed money currently and sponsorship money coming in. I think we're probably around 800 or 900, and I think that we're going to get well over 1,000 on this thing. So, again,
amazing.
Anything that comes in is just going to be phenomenal. So get out there, get involved. We're going to have a lot of fun with it.
Absolutely, bud. And now that practice is all set and done, basically, I'll let you go and get ready to race.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you,
Good
Troy.
luck, bud.
Troy Radford, driver of the 94. And what a hell of a guy, getting ready for baby number 3. Congratulations to him and Mrs. Radford.
And that's a good number, too. Just saying.
Yeah. I know what you're saying. Getting ready to grid them up here, Rick. And, man, this is going to be a good one. We got 20 drivers out there getting ready for 150 laps on this half-mile track. And Justin Rigsby going to be on the pole, and we're going to grid them up. And we got to get this one going real quick here. The 99, Justin Rigsby, going to be on the pole. To his outside, Chris Stump in the number 98. Starting in third, it's going to be Ryan Nolan, current points leader for the East half. AJ Rogers going to be starting on his outside. Andy Lambert picks up a 5th starting spot. Matthew Spinks in 6th. In 7th spot, Vermont's own Andrew Hill and James McIntyre in the 81, starting in 8th spot. In 9th position, it's Matt Vadervod. In the number 8 car, in 10th, Mark Fravert. In 11th place, it's going to be Al Smith. Junior Travis Wright going to be starting in 12th, Rick.
James Tomke in the number 1 is going to be starting 13th. Next to him is going to be the 85 of Jeffrey Stiles in 14th, Chris. We got Zach Colbier-Coyer in the 15th, starting 15th. Mike Holzclaw in the 22, going to be starting 16th. 17th is going to be the overall champion. And since he's taking that green flag out there, the number 11, that's Brian Hacker. Next to him is the 45 and 18th position of Doug Wysocki. We have Gary Eschen in 19th in that 40 machine. Troy Radford, we just got done talking with him. That 94 is going to be starting in 20th position and rounding out the field. 94 takes shotgun on the field. Rigsby on the other side, and we go under green. Oh, man, I had a really good shot there, Chris, when we went under green. The camera flashes were going off here at Five Flags, man, and these guys getting ready to go. Good stuff going on. Rigsby holding on to the lead. The 98 of Chris Stump trying to hold on to the 2nd spot, but here comes Ryan Nolan in the inside.
Ryan Nolan going through 1 and 2, picks up second spot. Chris Stump starts to fall back. AJ Rogers takes advantage.
Whew. Man, that 17, he's looking good out there tonight, Chris. Also, the guy that's looking good there and in 5th position, the 72, Andy Lambert, doing a fabulous job. Tonight's race sponsor. Thank you once again, Andy. Andy and Melissa, good friends of ours out there. Andy's doing a good job right now. Andrew Hill in that 77. He's got Matthew Spinks on the outside, putting a little bit of a pressure, Chris. I mean, that's one thing I love about Five Flags. You can use the inside, you can use the outside. It's going to take a little bit for that outside to really work. But right now, Matthew Spinks sitting in 7th position. Vader in that number 8 is sitting in 8th right now, trying to put
Rick
a little
up
pressure.
front. Got to cut away for just a minute because the 87 down to the inside. Rigsby going to be in trouble. Ryan Nolan looking for the lead on the backstretch. Going into turns 3 and 4. Ryan Nolan takes the lead.
Takes the lead in the 17. AJ Rogers really sticking with him and helping him out there, Chris. Right now, Rigsby, like you said, kind of under a little bit of pressure and kind of stuck way up high on that outside lane right now.
Oh, he goes way high. Gets very, very tight. Loses second spot to AJ Rogers. And now Chris Stump in 4th spot. Going to try and figure it out. He's got a little ground to make up to catch up to Rigsby in 3rd. The 99 goes from 1st to 3rd in just a couple of laps. Now the 98 going to try and catch him up. Meanwhile, the 77 of Andrew Hill, Rick, you'd already talked about him. He was going around the 35 the last time we saw. Now it looks like he's working on Andy Lambert. And Andrew Hill looking to try and take away 5th.
Yeah, right now he is in 5th, but he's still battling it out there with Andy Lambert. Lambert not giving up, Chris, right now on that outside lane. The 72 looking good up there right now. But it's going to be interesting because now there's no gap. Andrew Hill right there on the inside. He's bringing Matthew Spinks in that 35 machine right around with him. And right behind Spinks, it's the Vader.
This could spell trouble for Andy Lambert. Stuck on that outside as the 77 goes. Oh, the 35 almost goes around. Has to catch up with the car and able to. The 35 almost brought it around. He was able to hold on. And now back to position. Matthew Spinks trying to get around the 72 and does. Vader right on his back bumper. Skittle car, welcome. I'm sorry you were late. You missed some good jokes. The 81 of James McIntyre working his way through the field. The 72 going backwards in a hurry. Al Smith Jr. working on that back bumper. No, Al Smith goes too high. The 44 of Mark Fravor looking on the inside. Can't get there.
These guys putting on one heck of a battle right now. Andy finally got settled in, Chris. He was able to move down below and get in behind the number 81 of McIntyre. But like you said, Al Smith Jr., he's right there. He's sitting in the top 10 in that 96 fueled by Verge machine, doing everything he can. But Fravor right there also. Brian Hacker has moved up one position in that 11 machine. Hacker was riding around 13. He got around the 40 of Gary Eschen, and he's just continuing on. I mean, right now he knows he is the overall champion. Not only is he the West Coast champion, but he is the overall champion. But he wants to get up towards the front and try to battle out Ryan Nolan. And speaking of that, Chris, look at that. The 17 AJ Rogers was able to get around the 87. Now we have another race leader. AJ Rogers in that 17 machine leading this field and pulling a little bit away from the 87. The 87 has the 99 of Justin Rigsby still on his tail.
Yeah, Rigsby has found some speed here after the tires start wearing in. 15 laps into the run, he is letting the 87 know he is there. Ryan Nolan trying to get a little bit of a grip on this track still, but AJ Rogers absolutely blasting away. He's picked up a 0.6 of a second lead over Ryan Nolan so far. Andrew Hill has worked his way up into 4th spot with Chris Stump right behind him. A battle right now looks like 6th spot. Vader versus Spinks. Vader to the inside in the 8. Spinks holding on in the 35 on the outside going down the backstretch.
And one thing we didn't touch on, Chris, because we had so much to deal with at the beginning of the broadcast, but tonight's kind of a special race. This is a championship race. We're doing 150 laps here. We're on lap 18 of that right now. These guys also have one chance to come down pits and take tires if they want.
Oh, you're absolutely right. I never even, yeah. It's a championship race, which means you can come down for tires. Yeah, 150 no laps, man, that could be huge.
It's going to be very huge. You already touched on Skittle Car. Good to see you, bud. Linda, welcome. It's good to see you, my dear. Congratulations to KD. And Merry Christmas to everybody out there. That's next week. We appreciate each and every one of you out there. We see you out there. definitely chat it up. You know, we love it. And man, I mean, this is an exciting race. I mean, there's so much going on. Ryan Nolan, he 17 points between Ryan Nolan and Brian Hacker. Hacker's got some work to do, but he's definitely doing it. He moved up to 11th position now. But he's definitely got some work to do to try to catch up to Ryan Nolan. And I mean, something's got to happen to Nolan big tonight. And I don't think that's going to happen. I mean, we've seen Ryan Nolan race so many times, Chris. I mean, he was kind of a little bit squirrely, I guess you would say, during practice. But I think he was just kind of pushing the limits of the car, trying to figure it out, see what he could do. And it is weird not seeing him in that blue and green car.
Well, Hacker has moved up to 10th position. Ryan Nolan sitting in second. The one thing we know for sure so far, Brian Hacker, West Coast champion and all-around champion. Oh, the 87, loose coming off from 4. Holy cow.
Yeah, that's exactly what I saw during practice, Chris. So,
boy, if something happens to Ryan Nolan and Hacker able to finish in the top 3, Hacker could take them both and the overall. Holy cow.
Can you imagine a 3-way sweep?
That would be impressive to say the least. Speaking of impressive, Brian Hacker really is starting to move that 11 along. He has moved up to 9th position now.
Yeah, I mean, when we talked to Brian Hacker when he took over the Western Championship, Chris, you know, the first thing that he said was, you know, he congratulated and appreciated every one of his fellow racers out on the track. He also talked about the Beagle Freedom Project. He's been running that ever since we've known him here at Racing for a Cause. It's a really cool foundation. And but he said to us, he goes, you know what, guys, I'm not happy with just taking, like, he was happy that he was the West Coast champion, but he's like, I want to take all 3. And he has been racing so hard all season long, and it's hard to do because, you know, it's only a few races long. I mean, this is something totally different for the guys. They're having a lot of fun. I love the way that Andy set this up, and it's just been a fantastic season for everybody. With Brian Hacker not giving up, he wants to try to get up there, and he's doing a heck of a job right now, sitting in 9th.
I promise you, if the wife says it's time, the computer gets shut off immediately, and Troy will take care of business, as I know he will. Good man, that Troy Radford.
He would do that, but you know what he would do? He wouldn't just shut off his computer. He would drive down pit road, and he would, you know, make sure that he doesn't
yeah,
hurt
that's
anybody.
true. Yeah. Let's take a look at Troy Radford, who had shotgun on the field when we started this race. He's moved up to 15th position. He's right now behind Zach Cold Beer Coyer in the 15. Running in 14th position is Cold Beer Coyer. The 81 of James McIntyre just in front of him, Gary Eschen, Mark Fravert. And then top 10, it's going to be Al Smith Jr. in 10th position. Brian Hacker, Andy Lambert in 8th position. Matthew Spinks riding in 7th, Vader in 6th. Andrew Hill has made his way up to 5th, but has kind of stalled a little bit. Chris Stump in 4th position, and he was the fastest during practice, and he had a good heat, but right now, maybe he's holding on to some tire for the long run. Justin Rigsby, our pole sitter tonight, sitting in 3rd spot, and Ryan Nolan in 2nd. AJ Rogers gonna be your race leader right now.
And just a couple of guys that we haven't talked about. You know, Terry, one thing about Troy, he's not a quitter. He is a racer's racer, but he's also a gentleman on the track. I mean, he's helped Chris and I so many times when we were actually behind the wheel with Racing for a Cause. Troy is just one of those guys that's all around just a great guy, and one that I would love to be on the track with. And I'm actually, you know, it's kind of hard because I want to get back to racing, but there's only 2 leagues really that I want to race with. And Chris and I broadcast them both, so I'm looking forward to, and Troy, when you watch this, you know, you might, I don't want to set it in stone yet because you know how things go, but you're going to have a new back runner possibly for the truck series.
If you could also have the wife wait until the 20th, I happen to know that the 20th is a good day for a birth, the day of my mom's birthday.
Yes.
So, you know, 81 collapses into the wall, bounces off, able to keep going, but McIntyre has his hands full with that 81 right now and showing the damage on the right front.
And a few guys, Chris, we started kind of back in the 15th position, but Travis Wright in that 10 sitting in 16th. Mike Wolfsclaw in the 22, 17th. Jeffrey Stiles is sitting in 18th. James Somke 19th, and rounding out the field, the 45, Mr. Doug Wysocki.
That's Doug. Nice guy, Wysocki. I think that's what we're going to start calling
Nice
Doug.
guy, Wysocki.
Yeah, I love Doug. He's a great guy.
I mean, I love everybody in Racing for a Cause. I mean, that's what's going to be hard about this charity race, Chris. I mean, you know,
Yeah.
that's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. I mean, can't pick a favorite because both leagues, we love them. I mean, it's just going to be crazy. It's going to be outstanding to see. Of course, at first, you know, we're looking at the Blazing Pedals. They've done a lot of work with the K&N car. Then they switched to the trucks. But next season, 2020, getting out of the trucks, bringing back the K&N car. That's going to be fun. And of course, Racing for a Cause has been racing the K&N car now on Sunday nights. Michigan. Who doesn't love Michigan, man? We've seen some outstanding races this year.
Blazing
at
Pedals
Michigan.
put on 2 barn burners at Michigan, and I loved every minute of it. What a great track to have this thing on. What a great decision.
And the cool thing was, we were actually a tiebreaker. Now, folks, if you don't know and you don't follow the Blazing Pedals, you definitely got to check us out in 2020. Going to be starting in February on Sunday nights. But the way that they do their championship races, they take all the tracks that they ran through all season and they put it up the boat. They take away the road courses, they take away the super speedways, they put the boat up to the drivers. And this season, Chris and I were actually the tiebreakers. And Chris and I actually had a chance to talk, and we're saying, man, you know, if it comes down to it, I would love to see another race on Michigan. And we got to pick it, man. And those 2 races were just fantastic.
Oh, yeah, that was great. It's going to be interesting when we watch that race too, Rick, because they're kind of blending both leagues' rule packages into one. And I think what we're going to see out of that is one really solid rules package. I think it's going to be perfect. And the way these guys have been talking about it, it's like, yep, no, we're good with that. Nope, yeah, we're good with that. Cold Beer Coyer coming down pit road, heavy damage to the right side. Man, it's going to be so good. I cannot wait. But first, Rick, we've got, just about 104 laps or so to go here tonight. And you know what? Here I am, completely out of my provisions for the evening.
Well, I know you get a couple more in backup, though.
I do, and I also have my hoodie on, but I do not have my slippers. And you know what happens when I don't have my slippers, Rick?
Your feet get cold, and I have to listen to it. And I even told you today, I said, you know, you got to bring your trjkarting.com sweatshirt home to keep you nice and warm. Of course, I forgot mine at work, too, because we wanted to do something special for Tim. And I said, don't forget your slippers, man. You need to do what I do, okay? You have to leave your slippers down at your computer desk. That's what you have to do.
No, the problem is
their new home.
I have them at the door, so when I get home, I usually put them on. Tonight, I was a little distracted as soon as I got home. I had to take care of my boy, and I forgot to put them on.
Which hopefully he's doing a lot better.
So far, not really.
No? Hashtag diabetes sucks.
There's a different hashtag along those lines here in this house, and he actually looks at us before he says it because he's got to get permission. But yeah,
I love that boy.
He is,
I really do.
He is something else. And you know what, Terry? What the heck?
It's a good time.
Let's do it.
I need a PBR.
I need something. Here we go. We're going to go ahead and thank Mark Arthur one more time because we're going to turn it up. Want to go ahead and thank Mark Arthur one more time for coming up with that graphic for us and giving me enough time to, maybe pick up a provisional or two and be ready to call the rest of this race right here with my good friend Rick over there. I don't even know if he's back yet. He has to go look. Oh, hey, there he is. Yeah.
I popped my top two, but I'm in a bottle, so it doesn't make a cool sound. But hey, buddy, here's to a great season with Racing for a Cause. We're going to be crowning not one but two champions tonight. Week before Christmas. We had a cool, we don't crank it up here anymore at Turn 3 Racing Network. Mark, he came up with that. He's like, you guys shouldn't call it crank it up anymore. I mean, everybody does a crank it up. I mean, come on. He goes, you guys are the Turn 3 Racing Network. Why don't we turn it up? I'm like, wow. Why didn't I think of that?
I did have a thought graphics-wise, Rick, so before we get off tonight, remind me I have a graphic that I'm going to need for that charity race coming up next month.
That means I got more work to do.
Yes, sir.
All right.
But I know that you can get this one done.
Well, number one thing that I got to do, I got to work on a car for a very special friend. I have an idea already in my head, and I hope he's going to be happy with it. And iRacing has come out with some cool stuff where we can do matte colors now. We can do chrome colors now. So I've been learning a little bit with that, which has been very, very painful for the program that I use because I'm cheap. I use GIMP. And I found one video, which the guy did a fabulous job, but it's taken me a while, but I'm excited about that. That's number one. And I got to do two versions of that car for this man because he deserves it. And it's going to be good. I got to get it done before Saturday. January 25th, I believe.
Yeah.
I gotta get it. So I'm on a time crunch, but I'm gonna get it figured out. And I will definitely get that graphic idea from you either tonight or tomorrow at work.
Don't count on my memory, but it's in my mind right now.
Oh, you better write it down.
I'll text it to you.
That'll work. You're right. I don't want you to, Although working with you, I've been remembering a lot more things. Like the Ford Flex takes a PG 2500 and 6 quarts of oil. And the mileage on our rewrite was 21,034.
Oh, yeah. How about AJ Rogers? He has led the last 60 laps. But Chris Stump, the 98, I think I might be starting to hear a little bit of that shark music.
No, I think you're right. But what an outstanding night so far from the driver of the number 17. Rogers has led so many laps here so far. And they're going by quick, Chris. I mean, he's led 62 laps here tonight. Nolan has led 6, Rigsby 4.
Oh, unfortunately, Zach Coyer loads it up, says, guys, I'm going to have to see you next season. He has called it a night, down to 19 drivers on track, all 19 on the lead lap, and AJ Rogers is your race leader. He's starting to catch, though, Rick Travis right in the 10. He's getting very, very close. We may have our first lap down vehicle under this very long green flag stretch. Half of the race is done, and Terry, I'm sure you're going to be happy too. I've heard a couple of the ideas that he's got going on, and I got to be honest, they're sounding pretty good. Now, I'm not a graphics guy, Terry, so, listen, he can say, well, I'm going to do this color and this square and this over here, and I'm like, yeah, dude, that sounds great. But the truth of the matter is, I've never had a bad paint from the man. He always delivers.
My biggest problem is I'm very picky, and with, when I told Chris when that update came out with the matte and the chrome colors, I showed Chris, and Chris was like, uh-oh. and at first I wasn't going to do it, Terry. I think I actually told you that I probably wouldn't do it, but I found the video, and I sat through an hour of very dry stuff just for you, man. And I think I have it figured out. If it doesn't work out, we're going to have just a plain color, and I'm going to keep working on it for you, but not just a plain color, but there'll be a couple different colors. And I have kind of a mock-up all set up on my laptop, and I haven't brought it down to really look at it in the sim yet, but I think you're going to be very happy with it.
Well, AJ Rogers catching the backside of the 10. The problem for him, Chris Stump starting to catch the backside of the 17. That gap is about 0.2 of a second now. At one point, it was about a second. Chris Stump really is firing it off. Ryan Nolan has slipped all the way back to 4th spot. Good news for him. Brian Hacker back to 15th.
I already have a problem. It's only been a couple of laps, Chris, and I think there's a hole in my bottle.
Yeah, I have a problem.
I think it was 2 swallows and it was gone. That tasted really good, but I gotta be careful because I haven't had dinner tonight.
That's a myth that I'm happy to bust for you. Food in your system does not change how fast alcohol gets absorbed into the bloodstream.
Oh, if that's the case, I might be right back and I might have to go out on the back porch. And you know, they're ice cold out there. Let me tell you.
That's exactly what I did. That's so funny. Yeah, I left mine out on the porch when I got home.
Oh, right now the wife and kids just came home from visiting the in-laws, and she told me it was not snowing, so I don't have to go out there and snowblow or shovel after the race so far. I don't think the snow squalls have hit. No, we had one good one when I left work.
But it is down to 12 degrees outside of my house right now.
That's what she said. She goes, it is, the car is reading 14, but the thermometer is saying 12. I don't know which one to believe. And I was like, I think I'm going to go with the thermometer because you are driving a Ford.
Whoa.
It's always off a couple degrees.
Whoa.
That's all I'm saying. You know, tire thermometers, they're not very accurate. That's all. Same thing with a Chevy. My Chevy doesn't tell me the temperature. My Chevy doesn't do anything but get me to work every day. And it also tells me that I need to service my tire pressure system, which we're gonna fix on Saturday. Damn it! I already told the wife. I said, just so you know, I'm going to work on Saturday. I know we have some stuff to do, but and it's a weekend before Christmas, and Santa Claus has a lot of wrapping to do. But that light is really pulling me. You know how I am. I'm very OCD with stuff like that.
Yep.
Got a light on and everybody's like, hey, we'll give you some electrical tape. It takes care of that. Don't worry about it. And I'm like, no, my truck, I can't have, I don't want Christmas. I like Christmas tree in my living room. I like the one at work. I like the one at Chris's house. I don't like it on my dash.
I got to be honest, our tree here this year is absolutely beautiful. I wish it would still take water, and it is taking it a little bit. I did check that. It is still taking some water, so it will definitely last till the new year, which is good. And I don't know if it's going to last to the wife's birthday, which is kind of sad. She likes that. But anyways, Terry, if you haven't done it yet, go on to Trading Paints, look up Rick Hammond, and take a look at some of the paints he's done for me in the past. My God, they are beautiful. One of my favorites. It's a JDRF car, yes, but it's also done up in a red and blue, all the Montreal Canadiens colors, and wow, beautiful. Wow, look at this. Brian Hacker all the way back to 18th spot. Rick getting set to go down a lap. Brian Hacker having trouble here tonight. Knows he's just got to finish. But, geez, Crow. There's no way he is going to win the East Coast Championship. So we're going to go ahead and call it right now. Shy of something happening, Ryan Nolan has done enough to win the East Coast. And right now he's sitting in 5th spot. Rick, we might have 5 guys to talk to here at the end of this one. AJ Rogers, Chris Stump, and the Vader up in the top 3.
Of course, the sad fact is if the 8 stays in 3rd or 1st and 2nd, we're going to talk to him, and of course we're going to say, Matt, how did we pronounce your last name?
No, I'm not. Again? I'm just going to say, hey, Vader.
There you go. I mean, Matt, no disrespect, brother. We love you. Okay, we're old. We have short-term memories. But you have a nickname now, and that nickname will never go away.
I like nicknames.
Nicknames with Chris and I, once we set a nickname, you guys are in trouble.
Terry, I can always remember your name because, well, my cousin, his last name is Foster.
Whoa, first caution. The 35, Matthew Spinks.
Now, this is going to get wild. We're going to take a step back into instant replay land, see what happened to the 35. gets in the wall. The 44 comes underneath. Oh, gives a little tap.
Ooh. Now, this is going to be the interesting thing, Chris. Now, we talked about this. These guys have one pit stop for tires. They can come down pit road as many times as they want, but it can only go on the jack stands once. And this is something totally not what Racing for a Cause does. I mean, that's something that Andy has incorporated. He says, listen, our short track stuff.
Oh, Rick.
That's what he tries to model it by.
Rick, look at pit road. It's much busier than I thought it was going to be.
No, I figured that if we had a caution, Chris, come out after the halfway point, these guys are like, hey, we get fresh tires.
Wow, look at them all go.
Yeah. Racing for a Cause, for the folks that don't know, for the 8 of you that are watching out there right now, number one, we appreciate each and every single one of you hanging out with Chris and I and the boys of Racing for a Cause here on Wednesday night. But Andy has modeled this kind of towards like a local Saturday for us here in Vermont. It's a Thursday night short track racing at this nation's site of excitement, Barry Thunder Road. And those guys don't usually take tires. I mean, they go out there, they bang doors until they're done. And so that's what the whole season pretty much, it models. These guys, they're able to come down for fuel, but nobody's allowed to take tires. But tonight, 150 laps here at Five Flags, they get a treat. They get one set of tires, and man, did a lot of people come in and take that opportunity.
Well, as many people came in and stayed out, Rick, a lot of guys were one lap down. They're going to take this opportunity to go around the pace car and collect their lap back. And, man, that's going to help out a lot of drivers. But, yeah, tires, huge deal. With 50 laps to go, you can pretty much run full tilt around this track for about 20 to 22 laps or so before those tires really wear down. These guys are going to be flying on this restart. Watch out, because this one is not done yet. Jeffrey Styles, the only car, the number 85, did not come down pit road in the top 10. And he's got those old tires. He's going to be starting on the pole unless he decides to come down. The 10 car going to go around the pace car. That's Travis Wright. Collects his lap back. And, man, this one is going to get wild. Pace car lights are off. Cars are going to start folding in 2 by 2. Our restart goes like this. Jeffrey Styles in the 85. Going to be sitting up front. AJ Rogers, Gary Eschen, Andrew Hill, Chris Stump, Ryan Nolan, and Al Smith Jr. Vader's in there too. As it keeps shifting around. McIntyre, Rigsby, all up in the top 10. And here we go, getting ready to go back to the green. The 85 hits the loud pedal. We are back under the green flag. Jeffrey Styles tries to hold on the lead. Can't do it on those old tires. AJ Rogers takes advantage.
And we got a little request. Oh, the 85.
Oh, boy. We got him. We're going under caution one more time. It was a big one into the... Oh, no, we don't go into caution. Andrew Hill up into the wall, able to hold on, and we stay under the green flag. In car, see how dark? Absolutely, we can go in car. We're going to go in car with AJ Rogers, current race leader, who's having an absolutely fantastic night here tonight. You can see the lights. Definitely in the corners. One on the back stretch. Corners are a little bit dark here at Five Flags. Listen to how smooth he is. Oh, we got one going around in turns 1 and 2. That's going to bring out caution. It looks like Brian Hacker may be involved with that one. The 11 showing signs of short track racing here at Five Flags Speedway. We're going to go back and take a peek.
Now, the good news, Chris, that we talked about at the beginning of the broadcast, Brian Hacker only had to take the green flag to become the overall champion. So he's already got that set in stone now. He was racing to try to take over the East Coast. Doesn't look like that might happen right now. He's sitting in 12.
Now, already had some damage to the right front, the whole right side, really. So the 11 car really pancaked in. And see him get a little wiggle off from turn 4. Oh, the 1 comes up into him.
The 1, yeah.
Yeah, boy. 35 able to avoid it. But James Somke gets into the 11. And the 11 having troubles getting it going straight again, and finally does. And we are under caution number 2. The 11 on pit road, Rick Huge. He does make it back out onto the track, though. We're back live here. AJ Rogers, your race leader. 92 laps he's led, man. That's an incredible night. If we do get a chance to talk to him, Rick, and, listen, anything can happen, but we got to talk to him again about maybe firing up that used sim gear, for lack of a better term, auction, because that thing was huge, and it had a lot of momentum, and then it's kind of suddenly stopped. And I know there's a lot of drivers out there that could benefit from that, especially this time of year.
Yeah, the Sim Hub used was a fabulous. I mean, it's hard too because you kind of got to get quote unquote donations of used sim gear. But man, AJ Rogers, he took that and he just went ballistic with it, and it was fabulous, man. Actually, that's how I got my button box. Actually, it's from one of our drivers here at Racing for a Cause that put that up there, and it was kind of cool.
Yeah. AJ Rogers, if you watch this back, get in touch with me on Facebook. I could probably donate my Oculus Rift. I'm going to update to something else at some point. But right now, Oculus Rift sitting on the floor, not doing anything. And I could definitely go ahead and donate that to the cause.
That's huge. I know we talked about that. We've been talking about it. There's a lot of things that we want to do. And man, 2020 is going to be a great year, number one. I always tried to stay positive in my thoughts. 2019 was a little bit rough for me, but towards the end it got better. In a huge part thanks to you.
Pace car off from the driving surface. The 17 of AJ Rogers picks up the gas pedal, and we are back under the green flag. Ryan Nolan sitting in second, Chris Stump in third. Stump on the outside, dealing with the 40 of Gary Eschen. Eschen on the inside, doing battle. The 96 of Al Smith Jr. been very quiet here tonight. Smith doing an excellent job. Right now, currently scored in 5th spot. Vader to his outside in 6th. Al Smith Jr. takes that inside line very aggressively, and these 4 cars locked in battle. The 40 to the inside. That's Gary Eschen. Now we're going 3 wide. 3 wide. Go to the wall. Not enough room. The 96 gets into him. Ooh. Gary Eschen goes around.
Vader going around. A lot of guys going around there, Chris.
Caution flag on the field. Lap number 112 for the 3rd caution of the night. We're going to go back and take a peek.
I think the 94 might have been involved too.
Cut that short just a little bit so we see all the action. The 96 of Al Smith Jr. gets to the inside of the 40, but there is not enough room on this small track. Five Flags not set up for 3 wide. Vader gets into it. Troy Radford tries to come in, but the 40 sneaks back out on track. And Rick, that's one thing we've always talked about. If you get into a wreck, hit the brakes, let the cars go by. Don't try and come back out on track, because that will happen. Troy Radford involved with it, and that wasn't even his issue. Back live, AJ Rogers, your race leader. As we got some more torn up cars out there, and why not, Rick? It's the last race of the season. You have all winter long to kind of get these cars put back together and ready to go. And Rick, thank you for putting in tonight's sponsor website. Guys, if you haven't done so yet, make sure to go out to www.crohnscolitisfoundation.org for more information.
And again, a huge thank you out there to Andy Lambert for sponsoring tonight's race. The season finale here for Racing for a Cause 2019. Another decade gone, Chris.
Just like that, buddy. Just like that. I'm going to try and figure out how we're going to send this decade off. Usually I tell the wife to take the night off, and I do the cooking. That's what I normally do.
Oh, yeah.
And I just got that fresh lamb in from my cousin. Well, I think I'm going to go Greek this New Year's Eve.
Now, let me ask you. I didn't ask you this the other day, but do you use the mint jelly?
I don't use mint jelly. I actually do everything from scratch when I'm doing anything lamb or goat related.
because my grandma, you know, God, you know, rest in peace, grandma. But I always remembered, you know, that was a huge thing because I remember she always had this mint jelly, and you know, I love peanut butter and jelly. And I remember one day when I was young, I used mint jelly for my peanut butter jelly. Folks, never do it. Yeah, even if you like mint, never do it.
No.
And I told her, I said, Grandma, I think your jelly's gone bad. She's like, well, that was for Christmas. And no, it's not made for that. And I never understood. I'm like, well, what do you use it for Christmas? And I never knew, like, you know, they never said, well, you're eating lamb, because that's not something that, you know, we normally have. And but I liked it with the mint jelly. I also liked it without.
Pace car off the field, getting ready to go. And here we are, AJ Rogers with a huge restart one more time. You can tell he's going for the win tonight. He's led 103 laps, and he is going to lead again. Al Smith Jr. really pouring it on towards the end of this one. He has moved himself up to second spot. Ryan Nolan on the outside has to fall in behind Smith. Al Smith Jr. with a hell of a run here tonight. 96 machine in second spot. The 98 of Chris Stump in fourth. Ryan Nolan in the third spot in that new paint scheme.
It's working for him.
It is working for him. But I'll tell you what, man, AJ Rogers just having a dominant performance here tonight. The coach run from me. Well, if you come at them with the big rubber boots, they probably would, Terry. Little jokes.
Look, our TV, but I understand. I mean, I like things like, I haven't had lamb since my grandmother passed. That was, you know, 2010. So yeah, it's been a long time. But every now and then,
we got to fix that.
Every now and then. I mean, that was her thing, and she did a fabulous job with it. But let me get to where I was, because see, this is what, you know, Troy and Terry said. Rick likes to go off track, so I'm gonna try to keep it on track, man. That 96, fueled by Virgin machine, Coach's Corner. I know it was on there somewhere. I'm sure if I look really close on that Ford Mustang, I will find Coach's Corner. But Al Smith Jr. tonight, he started here in 11th position, Chris. And now on lap 124 of 150, worked his way up to second place. And that's just amazing, man. I love Al Smith Jr. You know, we got him out of jail so we could race.
Caution on the field. And it might be, I'm not sure. Holy cow.
Well, let's take a look here.
Maybe the
85.
No, not the 85. Maybe the 10. Let's go back and see if we can figure this one out. Oh, yep, 10. Self spin. Oh, gets into the 94, the 40, the 45, the 22 comes barreling in. All right, we're going to have to go back and see that one again. I'm going to watch it out of the perspective of Doug Wasaki. The 94 gets just a touch of it. And, man, everybody else comes barreling in. Just not enough room on this little track. It doesn't self-clean, boys. What a night here for Racing for a Cause. Holy cow. As we're back live, Travis Wright, Troy Radford on pit road. Radford kind of collected into a couple that were nothing of his doing.
You know, Terry, I was just going to say that as Chris was going through, like, I was waiting for him to stop, and I was like, you know, there's one person out on track right now that does not want to see this now. The old adage, caution breeding cautions. These guys went through half the race under green. The first caution came out, what was it, lap 98?
Yeah.
And we've had a couple since. And there's one guy out there that's just like, man, please, let's just go. Let's just go. We're almost there. You know, we only have, what, 23 laps left to go. My Common Core math really quick from Milton School. Milton and Virgins got hit bad on both those ends, but 23 laps left to go, and AJ Rogers is just like, man, Al Smith Jr., he's right there. Nolan's there, Chris Stump. Another amazing things that we haven't really talked much about, Chris, the guy who started here in 8th position, fell back down to 13th. He's running in 5th now. That's James McIntyre Jr. in that 81 machine. He's sitting in 5th. Andrew Hill, 6th. Andy Lambert having a really good race here tonight, sitting in 7th right now. Rigsby, the guy who led the first 4 laps here this race, in that number 99 Star Legacy Foundation machine, starlegacy.org. To check that out also. He's sitting in 8th. The Vader is sitting in 9th. Faber having a really good run here tonight so far. Chris, he's in the top 10 in that number 44 machine. Brian Hacker in 11th.
Yeah, importantly, he has made his way back up to 11th spot. Of course, Ryan Nolan back up to 3rd. So Nolan looks like he is going to definitely take this Eastern Championship. But right now...
And you know Hacker's taking it kind of hard, Chris, because he said it right when he won the Western Championship. He's like, I want to sweep all 3. And that man right there, he is not giving up. He is a fabulous person, a fabulous race car driver, awesome short track guy. Yeah, all around good guy. He's been with us for a while.
Yeah, absolutely. Pace car lights are off, and it is coming down pit road. Cars 2x2, and AJ Rogers hits the go pedal. We are back under the green flag. 20 laps to go. Well, 21 laps to go. Technically, now it's 20. Okay.
Now it's 20. Yep. Ooh, 17 in the wall a little bit.
Yeah, he's got some right front damage, Rick. We were kind of looking at that during the caution, but it doesn't seem to be slowing that 17 down. Man on the mission here tonight. AJ Rogers in that 17. Al Smith Jr. in 2nd spot. Ryan Nolan 3rd. Chris Stump running in 4th position. James McIntyre in the 81 rounds out the top 5. 6th place belongs to Andrew Hill. Then it goes 2x2. Rigsby, Lambert switching positions back and forth here. Rigsby on the outside. Lambert making a stand on the inside. Here comes Vader in the 8th. He's being followed by Brian Hacker in the 11.
Yeah, Hacker breaking into that top 10, Chris, right now. Andy Lambert, though, in that 72 machine, tonight's race sponsor, in a little bit of trouble there. And 99 Rigsby was able to get around him.
Rigsby able to get around. There was some weird stuff going on there. They almost went 3 wide again, didn't do it.
Yeah.
Andy Lambert knew better, kept it 2 wide. And Vader coming on the inside, going to take away 7th position. Excuse me, 8th position from Andy Lambert.
Here comes the 11 right around.
Yeah, Lambert, Hacker coming with him. So Hacker looks like he's going to go ahead and take a top 10 here tonight, possibly. But up front, boy, it is AJ Rogers leading 121 laps so far of this event. Al Smith Jr. right on the back bumper, and how cool would it be to see a win out of Al Smith Jr.?
Ooh, the 44 just got into the 45 a little bit.
Keeps it going straight. Fravert and Wasaki getting it on here in the late stage of this race.
Fravert just kind of pancaked the wall there a little bit.
Doug Wasaki running in 12th position now. And Doug, great guy. I love Doug. And he is letting it all hang out. The 44 into the wall one more time.
You know, the thing I love about Wysocki, Chris, is, number one, it's kind of cool watching the 44 and the 45 battle it out here. But you couldn't ask for somebody better. I mean, he could have, Wysocki could have really dug in there and tried to take that over, but he just kind of backed off, gave Fravert just enough room just to do his thing. And that's the way that Doug Wysocki is. He's a very, very respectful racer.
Chris Stump to the inside of Ryan Nolan. Stump taking over 3rd spot. Ryan Nolan falls back to 4th. Can't do anything about it.
Ooh.
Nolan gets a little bit to the... Oh, no, excuse me. Chris Stump gets a little loose coming out of 1 and 2, out of 4. And he is on the top side. Takes position back. Chris Stump holding on that slightly higher lane. Has the track changed just enough? And the 98 does take position. It did change just enough. Chris Stump takes top 3. 9 laps to go for this man right here, the 17 of AJ Rogers. He's got Al Smith Jr. breathing down his throat. And that 96 is come to play. Al Smith Jr. not giving up a chance to try and win one here tonight. Does the bumper come into effect? Coming out of turns number 3 and 4 onto the front stretch, the 17 of AJ Rogers holds on to lead into 1 and 2. Al Smith Jr. holding on to that back bumper, knows if AJ makes one little mistake. Smith able to capitalize. The 96 is looking strong here with 6 laps to go.
You're absolutely right, Chris. And one of the questions you asked, though, does the bumper come into play? Normally, I would say yes. But with it being Al Smith Jr., the fueled by Verge machine, the coach's corner is there on the deck lid, Chris. That is not the way that he drives. I mean, Al Smith Jr. will race you hard. And he's going to stay right there. I mean, you can see him. He's not giving up. But a very clean racer, Chris, and he's going to want to try to take it. Whoa.
Oh, no. Al Smith gets tight. Heads up towards the wall. Loses a bunch of positions. Chris Stump takes over second. Ryan Nolan into third. Al Smith Jr. falls way back into 7th spot. Make it, 7th spot. The 99 able to get around him.
Yeah, like I was saying, Chris, he's not one of those drivers that would use the bumper to move somebody. He wants to make a nice clean pass, and that just goes to show right there. We just saw some really good racing, being respectful. And unfortunately, he fell back a little bit. Chris Stump takes over second position. Ryan Nolan sitting in third.
White flag in the air. AJ Rogers looking to complete this race. He's led 135. Can he make it 136 for the race win? AJ Rogers heading into turn number 4. AJ Rogers on the front stretch and across the start-finish line for the race win. Chris Stump second. Ryan Nolan third. James McIntyre, Andrew Hill top 5. Wow.
Then you got Rigsby, Al Smith Jr. in 7th. Bader comes in 8th position. Hacker comes in 9th. We're going to be talking to him, I'm sure, tonight here because he is the overall champion. Andy Lambert having a really good run here tonight. Chris, tonight's race sponsor, Andy Lambert, finished in the top 10. Mark Frabert, Doug Wysocki had a good run in 12th. Eschen in 13th. Radford in 14th. Sam Key in 15th. Then we had Travis Wright, Mike Holsclaw, Matthew Spinks finishing tonight in 18th position. Jeffrey Stiles, and of course we know Zach Coldbeer Coyer, the first one out of the race there, going to be taking 20th.
Unbelievable finish here. Guys, we're going to set up post-race interviews. Don't you dare go away. We're going to be right back. Unbelievable finish here. And wow,
before you go any further, Chris, I just like last week, look where the 87 is.
Oh yeah. Yep. On the roof. One more time.
On the roof.
Can't help himself. All right, well, let's go ahead and talk to the 87, Rick. It was a hell of a race, so let's get it on here. We got, let's get the right person here. Ryan, I don't know why you do this to me, but you do it every week now. The 87, Ryan Nolan. Chris and Rick up in the booth. Do you have a copy?
Yeah, I got you guys. How's it going?
Doing good, bud. First of all, congratulations. It looks like, as far as my math can tell, you are the East Coast champion. And, man, coming home third place tonight. What a run for you.
Yeah, it was definitely a good half of the season. And this race was definitely up and down for me. But I guess I'd say we're lucky to finish in the top 3. AJ ran a good race. Chris did. Pretty much everyone there that we were racing with in the top 5. It was a lot of fun. Al had an incredible save there. Unfortunate that he got loose there. But, yeah, it was a good race.
Unbelievable second half of the season for you, Ryan, and I can't congratulate you enough, man. It's good to see the cobwebs are off, ready to go. And now what's next for the 87?
Well, we're trying to buy an apartment building right now, so if that goes through and closing's December 30th, I may not have the time that I used to for iRacing, but I'll try to get in here and run a few races when I can.
Oh man. Well, first of all, look, congratulations on your third place finish tonight. Congratulations on the East Coast Championship, and congratulations on what seems like a good life move for you. Everything rolling your way, bud. Merry Christmas to you, and anybody on that 87 that you need to thank.
Yeah, you got to slow down here a little bit.
Sorry.
You forgot one of the most important things.
Sorry.
New paint scheme.
Oh yeah. Oh gosh, yeah. New paint scheme.
It's the cat paint scheme. It's actually my cat Charlotte. We had to put her down, unfortunately, in August. So I figured I'd throw her on the car. So on the hood is actually her face, and the rest of it's her fur. I had too much time on my hands a night this week, so yes, we're still supporting the Humane Society, and figured I'd put her on the car as well. So kind of cool. I don't know if you guys could tell from the cameras or not, but that's what it is.
Well, we certainly can't tell right now because it's kind of what's the word I'm looking for?
You're hiding it.
It's upside down.
I regretted that as soon as I did it. I was like, oh wait, I probably should have left it.
Well, getting back to it then, bud. Anybody on the 87 you need to thank for this half of the season?
Yeah, of course. You guys, as always, do an excellent job broadcasting. I try to watch them even when I'm not racing, and or at least listen to them. My wife for putting up with me, family, and Andy for putting the series on, and congrats to Brian on the championship.
All right, bud. Well, as always, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you. One more time, congratulations to the East Coast champion, driver of the number 87, Ryan Nolan. And Rick, that's going to bring us to finisher a number 2. That's 2 if you don't speak French. And that is Chris Stump, driver of the number 98. Chris Stump, do you have a copy?
Yes, I do. Go ahead.
Oh, buddy. A hell of a finish for you this season. The season's come and gone, and you had some ups and downs, but here you are finishing second spot in the last race of the season. The 98 was looking pretty good, especially during practice. You had top speed on the track. You just didn't have quite enough there for AJ Rogers at the end. What was going on with that 98 tonight?
No, you're right. AJ, he was a rocket. I had 1 lap speed and 100 lap speed, but the laps in between, I really didn't have anything for him until we got, about 90 or 100 laps on that first set of tires. Then I could start reeling him in a little bit and get towards his bumper. But throughout the entire run, he was just consistently fast and wasn't bobbling much. But overall, not a bad night. Dodged a couple bullets and, stayed out of trouble. Had a lot of fun. And congrats to AJ again on the win. Brian Hacker and Ryan Owen for their respective championships they won. But yeah, had a lot of fun this season.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun to watch you, Chris, and it always is. I'm glad to have gotten to know you, and it's been a pleasure. Anybody on the 98 that you need to thank, bud, and please don't forget the Ronald McDonald House, because right now that one's touching personal.
Absolutely, yeah. We had to drag out the backup car, and this one isn't decaled correctly. But yeah, the Ronald McDonald House. Humanizing the badge, just everyone at RFC for what you guys do. Andy for all the work he puts in the league. All my Empire Racing teammates. I was a lone wolf tonight, but they're with me in spirit. And again, I want to thank you guys up in the booth. Really enjoy your broadcast.
All right, brother. Well, listen, Merry Christmas to you. Congratulations once again on the second place finish here tonight.
Thanks, Chris.
That's Chris Stump, driver of the number 98, getting it done here in second spot tonight. And that leaves us with one more to talk to as far as the race is concerned. Rick, it's going to be AJ Rogers, driver of the number 17. AJ, Chris, and Rick up in the booth. Do you have a copy?
Yes, sir. How y'all doing?
Doing pretty good, bud, but I'm willing to bet you're flying pretty high yourself in that number 17.
Yes, sir. It's been a long time since I've won a race. It's the first RFC win, actually. So it's a lot of fun. Had a great run tonight, so I can't be happier.
I would not have pegged that, AJ. I thought that you had won one before. Holy cow, man.
I ran an Iowa race and won one that wasn't official. It didn't mean anything. But
That's right. Yep. That's okay.
Now it's all coming back to us.
It's been a while, so it's been that long. But no, this was a lot of fun. It was a good run tonight.
Well, it was a lot of fun, dude. You dominated this race. 136 laps led tonight. But towards the end, there started to be quite a few cautions out there. What was your thinking?
I definitely didn't want them to happen. The car got tighter and tighter, and Al was all over me at the end. I thought he was going to end up getting around me, but I don't know what happened, if he just slipped up and slipped up out of the groove and lost it or what, but he was coming after me.
Yeah, he was right on the back bumper, and you're right. He got tight to loose is what it was, and away he went. But, man, what a run for you. And listen, I don't even want you to have to listen to this on the broadcast. I've already said on air, if you bring back your auction place, I've got a Oculus Rift. I will have to find all the pieces, box it on up, but I am willing to let that thing go to get you back up and running. I've got a guy out there. He's looking for a button box. He's looking for a couple other things. Let's get this thing up and running, bud.
Let's see what we can do. I think I'm going to have some other stuff come up here before too long anyways, and probably first of the year we're going to get it up and running again.
That's awesome to hear. Listen, get in touch with me. Seriously. I will get everything up and running for you here. And, man, it was a good time watching you win this race. It was a very dominating performance. At one time, you had like a second lead, and then those cautions came out.
Yeah,
and
the
obviously,
cautions were just killing me.
Yeah, that tightened it up. Yeah. Very amazing, man. Anybody on that 17 you need to thank tonight?
Just my teammates, Dixie Products, a sponsor on the hood, Midwest Power Source, RBRC, and a big congrats to Brian Hacker for winning his championship tonight.
Yeah, big news there, and we're going to get to him in just a moment, AJ. Thank you very much for coming on up to the booth here with us, and congratulations once again on that win, brother, and a Merry Christmas to you.
Merry Christmas to y'all. Thank you. That was a lot of fun.
All
Merry
right.
Christmas, bud.
See y'all later. Merry Christmas.
Perfect. Thank you, brother. AJ Rogers, driver of the number 17, and Rick, that's going to leave us with, just one driver to talk to, really, and that is our all-around champion. And
I love where he parked car, too. I love that.
Well, I don't have it, unfortunately, but yeah, I know. Here, I'll tell you what we're going to do here. It's not going to let me. Maybe it will. Maybe it won't. I don't know. Oh, there we go. Oh, yes. That's perfect. Brian Hacker, driver of the number 11. This is Chris and Rick up in the booth. Do you have a copy?
Got you guys.
Dude, I know you wanted to win both halves of the season to get that overall, but man, it's got to feel good either way. Congratulations to the all-around champion and Mr. Brian Hacker. Take it away, brother. You tell me what you want to talk about.
Well, we could talk about how bad of a night I had, but that's all right. I'm just happy that I had a pretty good season leading up to tonight, so it was essentially locked up. Just taking the green tonight. Thank God, because it was a struggle all night. I used my stuff up early and bounced it off the wall and was in the pits about 35 times, and just it wasn't pretty, but somehow brought it home with the top 10. I don't even know how that was possible, but big win for AJ Rogers. Congrats to him. He deserves it. He's been running pretty well. Glad to see him back in here. And of course Ryan, who ran a hell of an eastern side of the championship. He deserved that. He ran away with it here at the end. So, kudos to both those guys. And Chris Stump was strong all night too.
Dude, you have got to be uber pumped, and I just want to address chat real quick. Merry Christmas, guys. I appreciate you coming out, but Brian, this has been something that's been coming for a long time. You have been ultra consistent up to tonight, but even tonight, a top 10 finish. Consistency matters, man, and you showed it off here tonight and through the entire season for that overall championship, and I cannot congratulate you enough. I am so happy to say Brian Hacker, overall champion of the super late model, Racing for a Cause super late model division. Dude, I am just as thrilled for you as I can be. It's got to mean so much to you and the sponsors on your car.
Honestly, it does. I've never been able to run a full season between, my work schedule and everything I've got going on in my personal life. I just, I'm traveling a lot for work and not able to make every race typically. And I actually ran Irwindale. If you guys remember back in the first half of the season, I ran Irwindale from a hotel room in Detroit. So it was kind of cool to be able to run the whole season. It does mean a lot. I've been running, RFC for quite a while, and it's cool to be able to to finally be able to take one of these home. And don't know about the winter series that are coming up, but I'll for sure be back in the spring to try to defend this thing.
Well, I'll tell you what, man, there's one word that can never be taken off from your car from here on out, and that is champion 2019. And what a hell of a season you had. Ultra consistent all season long, scraping by on the West Coast, winning that one. It was between you and AJ Hamill, and now just absolutely dominating on the second half of the season. Nobody was going to touch you. You took the green and won the championship, and that was all she wrote, man. Congratulations once again. Anybody on the 11 you need to thank?
Yeah, there's a lot. I've been a little shy in talking about everybody, so this is my last chance to talk to you guys. So hope your ears are ready to bleed.
Let's do it.
Beagle Freedom Project, as always. It's cool to have them on the car. My Beagle's always riding shotgun with me. Cool to have her. She's actually on the side of my car, so on both the quarter panels, that's the one that's always sitting right next to me during all these races. Narrative Coffee and Richard Orr, we've kind of started a joint venture, and we actually started our own league that runs on Tuesday nights, super late models, called the Western Super Series, and really taken off. Check them out. We're actually running full time now on speed51.com, so pretty cool thing we've got going on there. Obviously Paycent, who sponsors me elsewhere, not necessarily in Racing for a Cause, but on an Upstate Racing League on Thursday nights. Big help there with the Verge team, onpitroad.com, and Mike Holtzclaw with his colors on board. We're always cool to have his stuff around. Smith Racing Inc. and Al Smith Jr., who had a good run going tonight. I know he's a little bummed how it turned out for him, and Jimmy McIntyre and the whole crew over there. RFC, you guys for starting this thing up way back when, and Andy for taking over and doing a stellar job at what he does on the super late model side. So pretty cool to be a part of all that. And outside of that, of course, my family, they tune in every now and then. My girlfriend for letting me do this without killing me, and everybody else that comes out to watch every week.
Man, just absolutely incredible. And again, can't thank you enough. I hope everything goes great for you in everything that you do, Brian. Congratulations once again, man. Championship. It's going to feel really good, and can't wait to see what you bring next season.
Thanks, guys. I really appreciate it. Wouldn't want anyone else calling these races.
All right, brother. Thank you so much. Brian Hacker, driver of the number 11, bringing home the championship. And, man, what a hell of a night. I got to get one more guy in here. It's going to be Andy Lambert. He's talking to somebody, so hopefully he doesn't mind, but I'm going to steal him real quick. Andy Lambert, driver of the number 70. Didn't have the finish he was looking for, although it was a top 10. But he's got to be happy with the way this season went. Andy Lambert, driver of the 70. Chris and Rick up in the booth. Do you have a copy?
Gotcha,
It's
guys.
72, man. Come
72,
on.
70-ish. 70-ish. How's that? Andy, this has been an incredible season. We've talked to Brian Hacker, your overall champion. We've talked to Ryan Nolan, your West Coast champion. And, of course, your East Coast champion. And, of course, Brian Hacker took the West Coast at the beginning of the season. This has been a really interesting and fun way to do this season up, man. I don't know if you want to give away any of the secrets for next season or not, but here's your opportunity to talk about the league.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, this season has been fun. Splitting it in half and having basically an overall champion and two sub-champions has made it interesting. Those 5 races keeps everything fairly close, although I think I was looking at it, Nolan had a 21-point lead when it's all said and done here tonight. But still, it was entertaining throughout the whole thing. It kind of gives guys a fresh start halfway through the season who had maybe a not so good first start of the season. they can gives them something to race for the second half of the season. We're gonna go for the spring schedule. We got 10 races on the docket again. By the way, those 10 races are for sale, the title sponsorships, for anybody that wants to promote their cause or charity or business. That's a good way to do it. You can have the name of the race. So if you have that, if you want that, you can PM me. But yeah, it's going to be 10 races. We're going to change it up for the spring. We're going to do a 7-race regular season and then a 3-race chase. We aren't calling it a chase. We're calling it a championship triple crown. So the top 5 in points will be reset. They'll all be on an even playing field for the last 3 races and go at it for the championship that way. We'll see how that goes. We're also changing up qualifying a little bit. We're going to go with what our brothers at URL and the Western Racing Series are doing over there. We're going to do time trials, and we're going to lock in 10 from there, and they'll be inverted at the start. So the 10th fastest will be on the pole. And then we'll get the rest of the field in through heat races and a last chance qualifier if needed. And we'll set the field that way for the spring. We'll see how that goes. Then we're going to have a big summer break to kind of reevaluate, and then we'll figure out what we're going to do for the fall. I'd like to bring maybe this format back for the fall. That way the 2 seasons, the spring and the fall, are, a little different, and they have their own unique identity. So we'll see. But we're always trying to find different ways to keep guys interested and keep them going. And maybe one day if we hit on something that we really like, we'll keep it for a few seasons. But I always think that changing it up, especially in sim racing for fun, just gets everybody reinvigorated for the next season when you change it up a little bit and gives them a different way to shoot for it. So
I mean, I'm kind of sad because, if there's only 10 cars that showed up, you had a fantastic season, number one, so congratulations on that. But if we only had 10 cars show up, that means I would have been in last place, so I would actually got on the pole. That would have been kind of cool.
Yeah, you would have started on the pole. Yeah.
Yeah, indeed. Andy, it's been an absolute pleasure, and this season has gone off without a hitch, man. Congratulations on that for you and for the rest of the drivers here at Racing for a Cause. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you very much for coming out to the Turn 3 Racing Network. You've watched the Racing for a Cause Super Late Model East Coast Edition, and we wrapped it up here with Brian Hacker. Congratulations goes out once again to Brian Hacker, who won the East Coast Division. Congratulations to Ryan Nolan, who won the East Coast edition. And
you just said that twice. So
I am so sorry. Okay. I'm not tired.
Congratulations to the champ,
drunk.
Brian Hacker, for taking the Western Championship and the overall. Congratulations to Ryan Nolan for taking the Eastern Championship.
That's what I wanted to say. That's why we have you around, Rick. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for coming out to Turn 3 Racing Network. We will see you in January, the next race between Racing for a Cause and Blazing Pedals. It's a charity race, and we're trying to raise as much money as we can for the Head and Neck Foundation. Man, it's going to be a good one. Please make sure to come on out to that. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to have a lot of sponsors. We're going to be talking to a lot of people. And Andy, are you going to be racing in that one?
Is it? It's
the last Saturday of the month.
If we're not chasing some gymnastics meet somewhere, yes.
All right, that's what I wanted to hear, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much, and for Rick, this is Chris, and have a great night. Merry Christmas to everybody. Happy New Year.
Kwanzaa,
we won't be around. Happy Kwanzaa, Hanukkah, all the other ones too, and we will see you next time.
Merry Christmas, everybody.